no joking.
No politics, no fluff, just fist, glory, and a little bit of history. Cheers to that.
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN. Magnificent. That is tremendous.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going. Let's make history. Pure power. There's no way back from this, surely.
They say I'm unproven, that I talk big and fight small.
It's time for America to see real power.
Who's still talking when this right hand flies?
This is the fight that shuts everyone up.
This is the fight that shuts man down.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this.
Press conference live on DAZN. We have gone coast to coast in the United States this week. Off the heels of yesterday's press conference in New York City, it is now on to Northern California, Stockton, California. Adventist Health Arena, that's the site for Saturday night's main event as two undefeated super middleweights go at it. Diego Pacheco gets back into the ring against Lele Sadjo live on DAZN.
Crowd coming alive. What a bomb. It is over.
What a message to the super middleweight division.
What a knockout.
Right on the money.
What's a lead hand?
Oh, brilliant right hand.
A real star.
Timing them, waiting them out, landed nicely. Clinical finishing ability.
And good evening once again, everybody, inside Adventist Health Arena. Justin Shackle, Chris Mannix, glad to have you with us for Matchroom Boxing's Fight Week press conferences. We look forward to Saturday night in this building. Diego Pacheco back in action for the third time in 2025 against Lele Sadjo. And Chris, these are two undefeated fighters. They are combined 50-0, proven power punchers. I think they have 41 knockouts between them. But when you take a look at 168 pounds right now, you think, oh, well, Bud Crawford took care of things back in September. The landscape's pretty clear. Not really the case. We kind of wait to see what Bud Crawford's going to do. So what would a win on Saturday for one of these gentlemen mean for them moving forward?
Yeah, Terrence Crawford is the unquestioned king of the 168-pound division, but he was undisputed a few months ago. He's only the unified champion right now, with the WBC title already being taken away. So these belts could fracture at 168 over the next couple of months, and both these guys in this main event could be in a great position. Diego Pacheco, he is in top 15 by all four of the sanctioning bodies, ranked number 3 by the WBO. And the name I hear a lot with Diego Pacheco, when I talk to people in Matchroom, Jaime Munguia, another big name at 168, looking for a big fight. That could be a huge one in 2026.
So Pacheco will enter the arena on Saturday at 24-0, coming off a unanimous decision win over Trevor McCumbee back in July over in Frisco. What'd you see in that match from Pacheco?
I think you saw dominance from start to finish. Trevor McCumbee is a real guy at 168 pounds. We saw what he did against Caleb Plant in that last fight. I think for Diego Pacheco, though, it's about more than winning in this fight. He's got to get back to looking spectacular. He's had 2 consecutive decision wins. 3 of his last 4 fights have gone to a decision. If he wants to get one of those big opportunities early next year, I don't think it's enough for him to just cruise to a decision. He's got to go out there and do some of the spectacular stuff that we've seen him do early in his career.
All right, we're going to hear from Diego and Kevin Sadjo in just a little bit. We're also about to hear from some of the fighters that you're going to be seeing on the undercard, starting with Before the Bell, coming your way on Saturday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific here from Stockton. So without further ado, let's talk to some of the fighters, and we do that with Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn.
Well, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Chris. And welcome, everybody. Good evening to Stockton here in California, ahead of what is a huge night of boxing, live and exclusive on the global home of boxing, DAZN, this Saturday. Boxing is red hot. Fresh yesterday off a great press conference at Madison Square Garden, where Shakur Stevenson will take on Teofimo Lopez January 31st. Of course, next week is littered with action. On Wednesday night, we're live from London. Before, of course, a small matter of the AJ Bank job on Friday night. Then we're in Ghana for our first show in Africa for Matchroom Boxing on Saturday night. And then we head to Saudi Arabia, December 27th, for the Night of the Samurai with Naya Inoue, before a massive 2026, already red hot. Dalton Smith set to win the World Championship on January the 10th against Subriel Matias. And then Andy Cruz goes for the World Lightweight title January 24th. As we said, the 31st is a red-hot night. Josh Kelly takes on Murtsalayev for the 154-pound world title in the UK, while Shakur Stevenson fights Teofimo Lopez the same night in Madison Square Garden. February is just full of action as well. Warrington against Wood, almost sold out already. One of the best fights in boxing. Nunes against Navarrete, the big unification fight. But we set our eyes on a huge night, as I said, in Stockton this Saturday. 3 press conferences for you today, and we start with a tremendous Before the Bell lineup as well. As Chris and Justin said, the main event here is breathtaking. Diego Pacheco, who is one of the hottest stars in world boxing right now, in the toughest fight of his career against the French knockout artist Kevin Sadjo. Between them, 50-0, 41 knockouts in a fight where 2 elite contenders for the world championship at 168 pound meet each other. Not just one of the best fights in the super middleweight division, but one of the best fights in the lightweight division. Stockton's own Gabe Flores against 2-time world champion Joe Cordina, stepping up to try and get a shot to become a 2-weight, 3-time world champion against Abdullah Mason. The winner of this fight will become the #1 contender for the world championship. Tito Mercado, the big noise at 140 pound, the toughest fight of his career, and a brilliant female fight as well. Sky Nicholson takes on Luna as well for the WBC interim world title as well. She steps down to 122 pound for her 3rd fight in that division. We'll start firstly with Before the Bell action. 2 local fighters in Cesar Olvera as well and Zachary Sam as well. Massive opportunities for you fighting in Stockton. Zachary, we'll start with you. I said down there as well. What a night for you. Big action here, fighting in your hometown.
It feels like a dream, a dream come true. I've been training this ever since, I stepped, first in the boxing ring. And, now, my time is here, to show everybody what I've been doing ever since I was young.
For the viewers joining us live around the world right now, tell us a little bit about your journey so far. We know this is obviously a big fight for you being at home, but tell us about the professional journey so far.
It's been different than amateurs. Like it's just the environment, the people, the cameras is different. But I also love it. I shine in the bright lights. I perform. Under pressure. I perform under pressure really good.
Good man, Cesar. For you as well. Stockton awaits. Again, so important when we bring fights to new places, to have young talent coming through. Heard a lot about you. Big moment for you on Saturday.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I just feel like I've seen this coming. I've pictured this in my mind, thousands and numerous of times. And, in my dreams, in the shower, and situations like this, I already went through it like a billion times. So just being up here, I feel natural. I feel confident. I'm prepared. And just, I'm excited to be here just to give a big opportunity from Matchroom. And thank you, guys.
For those travelling here from America and even across the pond, we know that Gabe Flores brings a lot of fans. There'll be over 4,000 in here on Saturday night as well. We should expect a wild night. in Stockton?
Expect an amazing night full of great fights, man. If you've never seen a card like this in Stockton, you know, shout out to Gabriel Flores. You know, he's bringing the hometown crowd, man. He's bringing the big crowd, and you know, sure enough, he won't disappoint. He never disappointed before, and sure enough, you know, this is what's going to happen come December 13th.
Thanks, Cesar. Before the bell as well, action. We talk about Olympians. We said before, 3 Olympians on this card with yourself, Chev, Joe, and Sky as well. Back in action, just down the road from training camp with Virgil Hunter, which is nice, but an important fight for you. Coming off those 2 defeats, we spoke earlier about the first one kind of led to the second one, just getting over that disappointment of defeat, but refreshed now and ready for a big charge. Tough fight for you on Saturday, but to go into a big 2026.
Yeah, first of all, good evening to everybody. Coming off of a loss, it was your first loss as a professional, so it was difficult, and you know, going into the second fight, I let my ego take over. But you know, that's happened now, and I've got to come out here and show why I was an Olympian and why I'm as good as I am, you know, and show people from Stockton. I've fought on a Pacheco card before, and some people got to see that in LA, and for me to show people over here what I'm about and around the world.
And a quick word on that move to the Virgil Hunter gym, obviously not far from here as well, but a big move for you in your life and a career, and now really finding your feet out there.
Yeah, I mean, during the period of my last fight, I was in the transition of moving, so you know, things were a little bit turbulent because of that, but now I've been there 8 months, been learning, picking up IQ, and yeah, it's time for me to demonstrate that, you know.
Well, big fight on Saturday before a huge 2026. This fight is one you do not want to blink at. Arturo Cardenas against Cesar Vaca. This is a tremendous all-action fight. If you haven't watched Arturo yet, what a fighter under the Robert Garcia tutelage, and an all-action fighter ready for a shot at the World Championship in 2026. But this man stands between him. Cesar, welcome. Spoke to you guys earlier as well. Spoke to your team. Very confident going into this fight. You like your chances in this fight, and a massive opportunity for you.
Hay mucha confianza de que puedes ganar esta pelea y obviamente es una oportunidad enorme para ti el sábado por la noche.
Sí, primero que nada, pues agradecer a Dios por permitirme estar aquí presente y pues no, nada, la confianza más que nada pues es en la preparación que hicimos. Creo que yo y mi rival traemos una buena preparación para sacar este compromiso el día sábado y pues vamos a dar una guerra, vamos a sacar lo mejor de cada uno y que gane el mejor.
Yes, so first I want to say thank you to God for allowing me to be here. And yeah, to be honest, the confidence comes from my training camp, my great preparation. I believe that both myself and my rival, my opponent here, have come in really prepared to give everything on Saturday, and I think it will be an all-out war, and may the best man win.
Thank you, Cesar. Arturo, welcome. You've shared sparring rounds with this young man in Japan. Quite an interesting story that you were both in the same training camp. Now you're fighting. A lot of fight fans expecting a great fight between you two on Saturday.
Sí, en primer lugar, bienvenido obviamente. Buena historia de que ustedes han compartido cuadrilátero de forma como de guantear en sparring. Es una historia interesante, pero seguramente va a ser una pelea excepcional el sábado.
Sí, primero que nada también quiero dar gracias a Dios. Y pues sí, fíjese que nos llegó a topar ahí en Japón, pero pues nunca compartimos sparring ni nada. Estuvimos apoyándonos de uno al otro en el entrenamiento. Pero sí, fue una buena experiencia también y igual hicimos una buena preparación, yo y mi contrincante, y la verdad que sí vamos a venir dando una muy buena pelea para este sábado.
Yeah, so firstly, I want to also thank you, God. Yes, we crossed paths in Japan. You know, we didn't actually officially spar, but we were helping each other with our training. You know, and I agree that I've also had a great training camp going into this fight, and we're ready to put on a great fight on Saturday.
Well, you will see it. That's an absolute barnstorm. Arturo Cardenas against Cesar Vaca. Don't miss this one. That's your before the bell section. We're going to head back to Justin and Chris before we get to part 2 of the press conference.
Thanks so much, Eddie. That's right before the bell, coming up at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. as you'll see a few fighters from the U.S., a few from Mexico, and all around this card, you're like Eddie
UK,
said,
you're
going to have 3 English fighters as well, starting with Shev Karkover before the bell as he takes on Anthony Holloway. So we're going to get some switches going on with the second half of that press conference, but I thought it was pretty interesting, and it's a pretty cool story. Arturo Cardenas, Cesar Vaca, they're fighting in the main event here, and they actually were in the same training camp in Japan before this match got finalized, pen to paper, and I'm wondering, we're going to be able to talk with Cardenas in a few moments. I'm wondering what that mood was like before and then after that fight became official.
You know, boxing can make some strange bedfellows. You never know who you're going to cross paths with and when they're going to go from friend to foe. But obviously, both these guys want to get a win on fight night. A lot at stake. The 122-pound division starting to get hot at the moment. You've got Naoya Inoue dominating, undisputed champion at 122. Junto Nakatani headed up to 122 next month. We've been talking about Bam Rodriguez maybe eventually getting to 122. So there's a lot of action in this weight class.
All right, we got some moving parts here, and Arturo is joining us here in Stockton. Arturo, great to see you. Here's a mic for you.
Oh, no, nice to see you guys too. Thank
All right,
you.
you're going for a 15th straight win over on Saturday, but before that, like we were just talking about, you spent the late summer, early part of the fall in Japan, getting some good work in, but so is your opponent here. So what was it like between you two when you first got to the scene in Japan, and then what was it like after when the fight was finalized?
Well, honestly, we didn't really know that we were going to fight each other until we got in Japan. And then like a week after, they showed us they showed up the card. So I was like, all right, let's get it. Why not? I mean, like it's a good opportunity for both of us, you know. But it's boxing, so it's a sportsmanship, and let's just take it.
You know, this weight class, Arturo, is becoming a pretty hot weight class. The biggest star in the sport, or in that weight class, Inoue at the top, Junto Nakatani heading to 122. What kind of statement do you want to make on Saturday to show everyone that you're getting close to being ready for those types of fights?
Yeah. I just want to show that I'm the good guy, you know. Wanting to be the best, to be challenging the best of the best, and you all see a new guy on Saturday night.
What's that dream fight for you? What's the one that you're looking at in the not too distant future that you want to get your hands on?
Any of those 2 fights. It'll be Junto or Inoue, you know. I mean, like it's the better fights that you could get.
All right, Arturo, thanks so much. Good luck to you as you go for your 15th straight win. We're going to head over to the second portion of our press conference as the main card will get started on Saturday, coming up at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here in Stockton.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back to part 2. 2 very interesting, very important fights to kick off the main broadcast on Saturday, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. Sky Nicholson, former world champion at 126 pounds, against Yulihan Luna, former world champion at 118 and 122 pounds. One of the top fights in the female game, and a very important fight as well for the division at 122 pounds. This fight for the WBC Interim World Championship, the winner will be mandatory for the world champion, which will take place, of course, in January. They're looking at for the undisputed championship. So the winner of this fight puts themselves in a position to challenge for the undisputed world championship next year. Yulihan, welcome. We'll start with you. Already a champion twice already, a big fight on Saturday night here in Stockton.
Sí, bienvenido en primer lugar, Julián. Sabemos que ya has sido como 2 veces campeona del mundo, pero una pelea muy grande para ti este sábado.
Así es, un gusto estar aquí en Estados Unidos nuevamente peleando. Gracias por la oportunidad de todo corazón. Es una oportunidad que Dios me ha mandado y que no voy a poder desaprovechar. Vengo con esa hambre de volver a ser campeona del mundo. He entrenado fuerte. Esas 2 veces que he sido campeona del mundo las he logrado sin empresa, sin apoyo, solamente de personas de mi familia, personas que pues son las que me han ayudado. Mi papá, que es mi entrenador, Julio Luna, también pues mi hermano Julio Luna, que también él es boxeador, mi familia, mi madre, mis hermanos, mi hija, que son mi motor, toda mi familia. José Rojas, que también ha sido parte de todo este avance que he tenido, y pues muy agradecida, la verdad, de estar aquí en este evento tan grande. Es una oportunidad que voy a aprovechar y voy a salir a darlo todo este sábado. Ese cinturón se va para México.
So yes, it's an absolute pleasure to be in the US once again. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. You know, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the opportunity for God. I feel like God has put me in this position, and it's not an opportunity I want to let pass me by. You know, I feel I have that hunger to once again be a champion. When I won the world title on 2 occasions in the past, I had no promoter supporting me. I did this all thanks to the support of my family. I had, you know, the help of my brother, Julio Luna, and also my father, who helped me with all my boxing-based training. Also my mother, and also my 2 daughters, who are really the, you know, the engine of my success. Jose Rojas as well. I want to say thank you to him, who was part of my team. And this is an opportunity on Saturday that I'm not going to let pass me by. And I can tell you that the belts on Saturday will be going home to Mexico.
Thank you, Yulihan. Sky, big moment for you at 122 pounds. Since the defeat to Tiara Brown, come back, drop down, look fantastic. 2 fairly routine victories while you got used to the weight, but it all gets very real on Saturday with what you've been asking for, a real fight in the division.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm very happy to be here, very happy to be in a real fight. I feel Luna's been very avoided, and I want to show the world I'm the best in the division, and that's going to happen on Saturday night.
Obviously, those 2 wins were great while you tested out the weight. Feel so much stronger down at 122, very comfortable at the weight. And of course, more importantly, a chance for the winner of this fight to go on to fight for Undisputed, which I know has been a dream of yours as well. So a massive fight for your career.
Yeah, after a lot of reflection, after facing my first defeat in March, a few changes were made, and I feel the best I've ever felt. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and I'm ready to shine on Saturday night.
Well, tremendous fight. Sky Nicholson against Yulihan Luna, WBC Interim World Championship, and a shot at Undisputed awaits the winner. Now up to 140 pounds and a brilliant fight. Here, Tito Mercado, one of the top fighters now in the 140 pound division, which is red hot. He's fantastic in and out of the ring, got a lot to say, wants all the smoke with everybody, but the man in front of him this Saturday is Antonio Moran, coming off a massive win, the biggest of his career. You've seen him fight Devin Haney, you've seen him in a great fight with Andy Cruz as well. This is a brilliant, brilliant fight. Antonio, welcome. We've had you on a number of our shows so far. You're coming off a huge win. You fancy your chances against this man on Saturday?
Sí, Antonio, has ya participado en varias carteleras que hemos tenido. Ya has tenido, obviamente, recién una victoria enorme. ¿Te ves las oportunidades de ganar este sábado?
Sí, buenas tardes. Estoy contento de nuevamente regresar aquí a pelear con Matchroom. Venimos preparados, hicimos un buen campamento de entrenamiento. Como me lo mencionan, vengo de una victoria importante y eso me motivó a seguir entrenando más. Es la tercera ocasión que peleo en Matchroom y, como dicen, la tercera es la vencida, pero he enfrentado grandes peleadores. Las derrotas que tengo me han hecho aprender más que nada. No me dejo caer yo nunca. Creo que estoy en mi mejor momento y vamos a darlo todo, vamos a echarle con todo.
Yes, first I want to say hi to everyone. It's great to be back on a Matchroom show. We've had a really, really good training camp, and as you mentioned, I had a really, really important victory recently, and that really motivates me to continue training and to do more. As you say, this is the 3rd time on a Matchroom show, and we hope it's a case of 3rd time lucky. I'm looking forward to putting everything into this fight. I feel like I've fought some great fighters in the past, and I've been defeated by fighters, but I feel like you learn a lot from those defeats, and I'll be ready to give absolutely everything in the ring on Saturday night.
You've taken your time to watch this man. How do you compare him to the likes of Devin Haney and Andy Cruz that you fought previously?
Has tenido tiempo de ver a tu rival. ¿Cómo lo comparas con rivales previos como Devin Haney, como Andy Cruz?
Es un peleador muy fuerte, pero creo que tiene diferentes estilos a los que me he enfrentado de Devin Haney y Andy Cruz. Pero bueno, como lo dice, lo estuve observando y traemos la estrategia para ganar.
Yeah, so in terms of comparing him to my previous opponent, he's a very strong fighter, but I think he has, a completely different style to fighters like Devin Haney and Andy Cruz. But as you mentioned, I've been really studying him, and we have a plan and a strategy to win this fight.
Thank you. Tito, welcome back. I'm sure your answer about Devin Haney and Andy Cruz is you're better, because that's what you would normally say, right? You're capable of beating all these guys. Welcome back. It's been a long layoff since the injury as well. I've got to tell you, I'm excited for you this Saturday, because this is a real fight. We've seen this guy on our shows before, exactly what you wanted. Time to make a statement to the world in Stockton.
No, for sure, man. Look, I'm excited to be back. It's been a while, obviously, since January, and to be in the car again with Pacheco, who's obviously another SoCal fighter. I'm excited to be on there with him to kick it off and him to close out the show. But Moran's a tough guy. Like you said, he's been there in there with Devin Haney and Andy Cruz and all these guys. And he's been a good gatekeeper, man. He's been giving him good tests, but December 13th, I plan to end that for him.
Do you feel like with the way that you're calling out those top names, you need to look good? The pressure's on you to not just win on Saturday, but do so in style?
For sure. Any fight, though. Any fight, I feel like I got that pressure to go there and look good. But like I said, man, we prepare real well. We know this guy's going to come to fight, and I haven't fought in a while, so I'm coming with bad intentions.
And then victory on Saturday, and then we'll get the usual call-outs. I'm not going to ask you now because I know you have a tough fight, but you're going to tell the world everybody you won in 2026.
Oh, for sure. I think everybody's more anticipated for that.
Good man. Well, Tito Mercado against Antonio Moran, fantastic fight, as is Sky Nicholson against Luna. The two fights to kick off the live broadcast on DAZN on Saturday night around the world. Before we go to the two main fights, we're going to head back to Justin and Chris.
Thanks so much, Eddie. We're going to have these two fights kicking off the main card, and we're talking about Mercado and Moran. You know, Tito Mercado, he has that show-stopping power, 17-0, 16 KOs. But Moran, he bucks the trend with traditional Mexican boxers. So what type of opponent is in front of Tito Mercado this Saturday?
I think Eddie said it accurately. This is a real fight for Tito Mercado. Antonio Moran is a gatekeeper, and I say that in a positive way. He has been in with some of the best names at 135 and 140 pounds, and he's coming off a consequential win over an undefeated opponent in his last fight. So he does have a little bit of momentum going into this one. If you're Tito Mercado, you want to make a statement against an opponent like this.
All right, we're going to be joined by Tito Mercado in a matter of moments, and hey, that moment is right now here. So we welcome in Tito. Tito, I tell you what, I'm going to be missing you on Before the Bell. I was getting used to you as a color commentator, but you're back to doing what you do best here, taking on Antonio Moran on Saturday night. What type of opponent do you feel Moran is for you?
Man, look, he's just a gatekeeper to me, man. You know, like he's fought the best guys, and he's done well. He's at times shown him, give him some adversity, so I expect nothing less from him, man. And obviously, I plan to just go over there and make it look easy.
You know, when you're fighting a guy like Moran, who has been in with some of those best guys, who went 6-7 rounds with Andy Cruz, with a Devin Haney, is it in your mind to do better, to outperform some of the guys that you consider your peers?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that definitely just shows where I'll be at. You know, I'm calling out guys like this, but I got to be able to show it in the ring, and what better to do it with a common opponent.
As you get to other levels here, as you're moving up and you're taking on these types of elite gatekeepers, as I guess you could say here, how important, for all the same reasons as with the question Chris was asking you, to put on an impressive performance now at this stage where you can see what's in front of you?
Man, super important, super important. Like I said, this guy's been in there with everybody. I've been calling out names like, Haney's, all the top guys at 140 especially. So for me to be able to go in there and put this guy out and just do a spectacular performance, I think that's what is going to put me with those guys. And, and for people to be like, you know what, I can see him going against a Hitchens. I can see him going against a Teofimo. So this fight is definitely important for me.
I love this guy, the king of the call-out. Like, you just beat Pedraza in January, and you're staring down, jawing at Shakur Stevenson, sitting ringside for that fight. So you do want all the smoke against these guys. I'm wondering with you, it has been about 320 days of a layoff. You fought once in January, have not fought since then, coming off an injury. Where do you feel you're at mentally, physically going into this fight?
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Like I said, I'm coming with bad intentions. I've been fought in a while. It's kind of similar to the same situation though last year. I was supposed to have a fight in November. I ended up fighting again in January, obviously with Pedraza. I haven't fought since July, and you guys saw how I looked against Pedraza, so expect nothing less.
Now that performance stole the show over at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. So Tito Mercado back in action coming up Saturday night, putting his 17-0 record on the line against Antonio Moran. That's part of the first half of the main card that you saw up on stage. So now we're going to throw it back down to Eddie as he is with the fighters who will make up the co-feature and the main event here in Stockton on Saturday.
Thanks, guys. And completing what is a brilliant, brilliant night of boxing here in Stockton is, of course, the main event and the co-main event. In the main event, 50-0 between them. Diego Pacheco, who's been faultless so far on his rise to the elite levels of the 168-pound division against Kevin Sadjo, one of the most avoided fighters in the division. We've had him on a show before, won by a big knockout in Manchester. And underneath that, one of the best fights in the lightweight division. Joe Caldina, a two-time world champion against Stockton's own Gabe Flores. The winner of that fight will be the mandatory challenger for Abdullah Mason. It's a massive fight for the division and two brilliant, brilliant, what some say 50-50 fights. Now, these guys might disagree with that, but we will start with Stockton's own Gabe Flores. Gabe, welcome. What a night for you. You know, this place is going to be wild on Saturday night. You are one of the big reasons that we're here in this city, and the biggest fight of your career so far. You're on a great winning streak as well. This man to the right, a fantastic fighter, but you believe your moment to make your statement in front of the world in Stockton on Saturday.
I want to thank God for bringing me here. I want to thank Harrison. I want to thank you, Eddie, DAZN, Matchroom, for bringing me here. I appreciate the opportunity. I want to make the most of it. And Stockton's going to be on fire Saturday night. It's going to be great. Can't wait. I mean, people are still going to be coming, walking up and buying tickets, so I believe it'll be sold out.
This man, a tremendous fighter. The first one on the road for him, the first one in America as well, but a phenomenal fighter, great amateur as well. You believe you have all the tools to beat him, and what do you see in the challenge ahead of you at the weekend?
Most definitely, I know I got all the tools to beat him. And he's an intense fighter. You know, that's what I see coming. You know, nothing much else, but I'm ready. You know, I got answers for everything he throws at me. And I also want to throw in there, from the interview he did yesterday, he wanted to talk about how people in Stockton, they may not like me. A lot of people don't like me over here, this and that. But, you know, hey, who'd you hear that from? Some haters? It is what it is. You're doing good in your life. There are going to be people that don't like him. But if you don't like me, you know how I feel. Hey, fuck you and fuck you too, Joe. That's how I feel, 100%. You know, and I want to talk about every time I step up, I fall short. But, hey, that's what made me who I am today. And you know what? I'm 25 years old now. I'm ready, full-blown grown man. And every fight I had, I finished. I heard the last bell. Joe can't say the same.
Joe, big moment for you. A few things said. You know, you've experienced this stuff before. You are in the Lions Den on Saturday night. I know that was part of the challenge that you wanted when you took this fight as well. A massive fight for your career and a game live opponent.
Yeah, game, but I genuinely don't know what I can't see what he does that he thinks why he's got this confidence to think he can come and walk through me. It's not going to happen. But listen, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. But like I said in the interview yesterday, every time you've stepped up, you got beat. Regardless whether I got stopped or whatever. You got beat the shit out of for the two fights. Yeah, but I finished every fight. I heard the last bell. You got stopped. Don't matter. Doesn't matter. Listen, that's not at the level that I fought at, regardless. But it was a bit of controversy as well. But that's never that's not a problem. But you're in with me tomorrow. I'm a different story to the two guys you got beat the shit out of. Bye. So when you step in with me, then you're gonna know what a real fighter is. Can't wait. Yeah, me too. And you know, like you said about the people that come, I've had maybe about 8-9 people come up to me. I said, "Oh, I'm fighting. You boxing? Yeah, I'm boxing. Who you fighting? Gabe Flores. Yeah, fuck that bitch." What else is new? I got haters. What else is new? Listen, we all got haters. And just like what you said. And just like what you said, it's because of my aura. We all got haters. Because of my aura. We all got haters. You ain't got no aura. It was just the wrong word I used, but nevertheless, yeah. 8-9 people come up to me and said, "Fuck that bitch. Fuck his shit up." So that's what I plan on doing.
Joe, obviously, won the World Championship twice at 130 pounds. Move up, feeling much better as well. But a big moment for your career as well. You took this chance. You, what some would say, roll the dice by coming over, making your US debut as well. But what a statement it would be to the world to win well here in Stockton. And of course, looking at that shot at Abdullah Mason, should you be victorious on Saturday? Yeah, of course. Obviously, I can't look at that fight, Abdullah Mason. I got Gabe in front of me, so I got to deal with that first. But it's a big opportunity for me, and obviously thanks for
for Matchroom, DAZN for having me over here, and Stockton for welcoming me. Because everywhere I've been, I've just been shown love. So, yeah, I know people say it's rough, and I'm sure it is in parts of the city. But yeah, everyone's shown me love so far, so I can't complain.
I know you know your boxing inside out. Finally, to you, when you look across the table, when you've studied this guy, how do you see the fight unfolding, and how does Joe Cordina win on Saturday?
By any means necessary. I've visualised me putting him asleep, but then I've also visualised me boxing his ears off. So, yeah, but listen, we get the win no matter what.
Gabe, there's a lot of pressure on Joe. There's pressure on you as well. This place will be full up on Saturday as well. How do you become victorious against this man on Saturday?
I just fight my fight, do what I do, and he won't make it 12 rounds.
Well, we look forward to it. It's a tremendous fight, Joe Cordina against Gabe Flores in Stockton on Saturday night, and this one, the main event, is breathtaking. Kevin Lee Sadjo, we'll start with you. Welcome. You've been looking for this opportunity for so long. You've been so avoided at 168 pounds, one of the strongest, one of the most dangerous, one of the biggest punchers in the division as well. You're smiling from ear to ear. The moment has come, the moment of your career on Saturday night in Stockton.
Enfin, donc, tu es là, tu as enfin cette opportunité, tu es l'un des boxeurs les plus évités de la planète, mais tu as toujours ce sourire en permanence qui est là. Nous sommes très heureux de t'accueillir.
Tout d'abord, je tiens à dire thank you, Mr. Ejihan, for opportunity. Donc, je dis merci à Monsieur Ejihan pour l'opportunité qu'il me donne. C'est vrai qu'à chaque fois qu'il m'a permis de boxer dans ces soirées, je suis toujours arrivé, je fais le travail. Et aujourd'hui, j'ai l'opportunité de boxer ici Diego Pacheco, qui est un très bon boxeur. Et pour moi, c'est une chance. Et je suis à ma place et je vais saisir cette opportunité. Et demain, samedi, je vais faire un gros combat. Et je pense que, comme il a dit, je suis vieux. Et demain, il aura affaire au vieux. Le vieux va lui montrer c'est quoi le respect sur le ring.
Alors, I'm an old man, as I said, and I will show how the old man is able to fight. Thanks a lot to Eddie Hearn to give me the opportunity to fight. And I'm ready for this fight, and it's such a pleasure for me to show my talent here in California.
Thank you, Kevin. Diego, welcome. Your progression since joining us at 17 years of age has just been perfect, but in doing so, every step up brings that new element of danger. I mean, you look at your fights, Sulecki was a great victory. Last time out, Trevor McCumbee was an avoided fighter. This guy completely avoided. He was a guy that you liked, extremely well ranked as well. You want these kind of fights before you progress to those mega fights, but a real challenge for you here in Stockton.
Yeah, for sure. You know, first and foremost, hello everyone. You know, I want to thank God for having all of us here today. Thanks Stockton for welcoming us with open arms, and we're looking forward to a great show Saturday. You know, I want to thank Matchroom, DAZN, my team, my family, everyone who's been with me through the whole journey, and it's been an amazing journey up until now. And like I always say, I didn't come this far just to come this far. Kevin Sadjo is a great fighter, but he's never seen anyone close to Diego Pacheco, and I'll show that December 13th.
One thing that I said to you when you came on the stage, the size of you now, I mean, you are a few hours away from making weight. You told me you're pretty much on weight already. Just one of the biggest guys at 168 pounds, and continue to do that weight well, and this time camp nearer to home in Los Angeles.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, I'm a fighter that this is a lifestyle for me. I stay in shape year-round. After my fights, I never blow up in weight. I stay close to my weight, and that's just how I like to live. And you know, that's brought me a lot of success. I've never had to throw on a sauna suit or kill myself to make weight, and you know, it just goes to show my discipline and my dedication to the sport. And you know, it's just how I like to live, and that's, I feel like that's what's going to get me to be the best in the world.
Well, and finally, to both of you, Kevin, a big moment for you. How do you see yourself winning this fight on Saturday?
Comment tu te vois gagner ce combat samedi soir?
Tout sincèrement, samedi soir, je sais que ça va un combat qui n'ira pas au bout. Ça, c'est sûr et certain, parce que je me suis très bien préparé. J'ai eu vraiment le temps de bien me préparer par rapport en Angleterre où j'étais venu, j'avais que 10 jours de préparation. Là, j'ai pas pris Diego Pacheco à la légère. Je sais que c'est un très bon boxeur. J'ai fait 7 semaines de camp de préparation. J'avais tous les moyens pour bien me préparer. C'est sûr et certain que tout le monde doit être devant DAZN samedi soir. C'est un combat qui ira pas au bout. J'annonce une victoire avant le 8e round.
This fight is not going to the distance. I will win before 8 rounds. I'm well prepared during 10 weeks. The last time I fought in England, I just only have a few days to prepare the fight. This time is different, and I'm extremely well prepared for that. And all the people who's watching DAZN will see what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, Diego, inside 8 rounds, this guy's coming with bad intentions. You see the KO show, the Pacheco show, the DP show continuing to go from strength to strength on Saturday. Inside the distance from Diego Pacheco, if this guy comes with those intentions?
You know, I feel like the few times that I haven't been able to get the knockout just because my opponents are being too secure, you know, they're being too cautious, and they know that if they try anything against me, they're going to get knocked out. So I hope Lele Sadjo comes looking for the knockout, because that's going to be perfect for me. And I know he's a great fighter. I know he's strong, but muscle or being strong doesn't win fights, and we all know that. So come December 13th, you're going to see the best fighter in the division, Diego Pacheco, do what he does, and that's going to be the DP show. So everyone tune in and don't miss the action.
Well, thank you, Diego. It's a tremendous fight. You two, you four as well. An unbelievable fight card in Stockton. Of course, these two main fights, as we said, Diego Pacheco against Kevin Sadjo, 50-0 between them. A massive fight for the 168-pound division, as is this fight for the 135-pound division. Stockton's own Gabe Flores against two-time world champion Joe Caldina. And as we saw previously as well, tremendous fight card. Tito Mercado against Antonio Moran, Sky Nicholson against Julian Luna, Arturo Cardenas against Cesar Vega, the return of Chev Clark, and so much great local talent as well, and what will be a brilliant night and a brilliant atmosphere here. You can watch it all, as always, exclusively live on the home of boxing, DAZN. We're going to pass over to the guys before we have face-offs up here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you for the weigh-in tomorrow.
So we'll get some face-offs coming up in a matter of moments. And you had the co-feature up there, the main event as well.
Little spice in the co-feature.
I tell you what, Joe Cordina sounds like he's fighting for some people in Stockton as well. Not just Gabe Flores, but that's a really intriguing matchup. WBO title eliminator. The winner is going to put themselves in prime position to take on the newly minted WBO champion, Abdullah Mason. And you have guys fighting on bigger stages, but Gabe Flores, red hot right now. He's faced adversity when stepping up here, and now he steps up once again, and he's on a roll. As we take a look at the main event stare down, Diego Pacheco.
An 8-inch size advantage for Diego Pacheco coming into this fight. Huge reach advantage as well. If this was a basketball team, it would be the power forward against the point guard out there. But Kevin Sadjo is not coming just to survive 12 rounds against Diego Pacheco. He wants to win and put himself into that world title picture.
Kevin Sadjo coming in at 26-0 with 23 knockouts. They do have one common opponent, that's Jack Cullen, both stopping Cullen. And Sadjo put on a show there. He celebrated by doing some push-ups in Cullen's hometown.
And Kevin Sadjo was a late replacement for that fight, goes into Manchester to face Jack Cullen and gets a stoppage win. So he's not afraid to come into enemy territory, to defy odds and expectations. He's going to have to do that against Diego Pacheco, who I think is one of the best young contenders at any weight class in all of boxing.
You talk about those measurements. We are typically accustomed to seeing 6'4" fighters with the reach that Diego Pacheco has at the cruiserweight, at the heavyweight class, not at 168 pounds as the stare down continues here in Stockton. I did like what Diego said about his two recent matches where he did go the distance in 12-round fights, and he talked about the reason why the knockout maybe didn't come is because his opponents were hesitant. There were some things that did happen in those fights. Both his opponents, McCumbee and Steven Nelson, they were cut. That may have led to them maybe not going in front of Pacheco full force, but I think we saw signs of maturity in how he kind of adapted to those moments. And also, he got rocked by Steven Nelson in the final round of that fight, and he hung tough in that final round.
He did, and I think he learned a lot from both those experiences. Going up against Steven Nelson, undefeated at that time. Nelson was tough, he was game, and he did rock Diego Pacheco in the later rounds. Maybe gave Pacheco some experience fighting against a smaller man. Steven Nelson gave up a couple of inches, a few inches to him in that fight. Diego Pacheco ultimately got a decision win. Trevor McCumbee, as we mentioned earlier, coming off that big performance against Caleb Plant, where he dropped Caleb Plant in that fight. Pacheco knew coming in that McCumbee had power in both hands. I think he fought a little more cautiously, but came away with a shutout win.
It's also moments like this, Chris, where we're seeing a lot of maturity from this 24-year-old. I mean, it's hard to think about it, but Diego Pacheco's been a pro for almost 7 years now as he's making his way up the 168-pound rankings. But we saw it in Vegas ahead of his fight with Nelson. We saw it a little bit in Frisco with McCumbee. We see it here as the two fighters in the co-feature are facing off. Pacheco getting a little chippy with his opponents. It's good to see, but again, we see Cordina and Flores here, and this one's heating up.
This is a fascinating fight to me, a true 50-50 fight. Gabe Flores was a tremendous amateur. He had a couple of setbacks as a pro, but is on a winning streak right now, and is fighting here in his backyard. Will have tremendous crowd support on Saturday. And Joe Cordina, we know what he can do against the likes of Shavkat Rakhimov, against the likes of the top guys in the 130-pound division. Now, trying to make a name for himself at 135. He's going straight to enemy territory as well. I think this is a real coin flip type of fight with a lot on the line.
And Cordina's no stranger to the 135-pound weight class as well. This will be his second straight at 135. He started his career fighting at 135 pounds. 9 of his first 10 fights were at the lightweight division. Was able to capture the world championship hardware at 130 pounds, but here he is looking to cement himself for a position at a title shot with Abdullah Mason. Joe Cordina coming over to the U.S. all the way to California for this shot here with Gabe Flores Jr. And there's been a nice scene in the Stockton, the Northern California area because of fighters like Gabe Flores.
Yeah, Gabe Flores, Jose Ramirez, guys that have done a great job, drawing great crowds in this neck of the woods. And this fight, I think, will be no different. Great crowd coming to this arena on Saturday night. Most of them here to support Gabe Flores.
Third fight on the main card at 140 pounds. It'll be Ernesto Mercado back in action against Antonio Moran. And we talked about it with Tito up here on the set. He had a long layoff due to an injury, but now he's back. He's fully healthy. He doesn't expect any type of restrictions in this fight as he goes for that regional belt that Moran is having over his shoulder. He's back in this position. I'm talking about Antonio Moran because he showed off this resiliency. We're seeing the resiliency in certain stages of Moran's career here. He did it against McQuan Williams, and now he's up against another tough opponent here with Mercado.
Yeah, 322-day layoff for Tito Mercado, and I guarantee you he's counted every one of those days because he has been chomping at the bit to get back into the ring. And this is a man that already thinks he's on the level of the champions at 140 pounds, the top guys that are at 135 and might be looking up, of someone like Devin Haney that just won a 147-pound belt. This is the type of fight where he can make a statement, build some momentum going into 2026, and maybe get one of those fights next year.
Well, this will be the fight that will kick off the main card on DAZN at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Sky Nicholson, Julian Luna for the WBC interim super bantamweight title. And we've heard Sky talk about this could be the toughest opponent, arguably the most accomplished opponent in her pro career.
Yeah, former world champion at bantamweight, certainly has the experience edge over Sky Nicholson. But Sky's looked really good at 122 pounds, dropping down after that loss to Tierra Brown. Picked up a couple of knockouts along the way, so maybe we'll see a little bit of a power surge from Sky Nicholson in this new weight class.
I was able to catch up with her just before the press conference, just said, hey, is this power real? And she just gave a nod, a confident nod that, oh yeah, the power is real at 122 pounds.
That is some investigatory journalism right there,
That's
Justin,
right.
I gotta tell you.
Big J journalism.
Capital J.
That's right. All right, before the bell card, we'll be kicking off on Saturday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. And there you see Cesar Vaca going up against Arturo Cardenas, a Robert Garcia disciple. He has eyes on a top ranking at 122 pounds.
I think if Cardenas comes away with a win in this fight, Eddie Hearn should pay for a nice first-class ticket over to Riyadh in December for Cardenas to be there for the Nakatani Inoue showdown.
Arturo Cardenas going for a 15th consecutive win on Saturday night in Stockton against Cesar Vaca, the tough Mexican. Again, they both shared the gym in Japan leading up to this fight. A rare occurrence there. And then this is, hey, let's not mince words. This is sort of a crossroads fight right now. Chev Clark back in the U.S. going up against Anthony Holloway, two fighters who each have tasted 2 straight defeats. And they are going to be hungry. They are going to be determined on our Before the Bell card.
Yeah, it's a big, big fight for Chev Clark. There were some expectations on him, coming into the pro ranks, a belief that he could become a world champion. He's had a couple of setbacks. They've been very close fights. One of them by split decision, one of them a competitive unanimous decision loss. But you can't lose 3 in a row in this game. You got to find a way to bounce back, be impressive, give yourself some momentum going into next year.
So there you see Chev Clark exiting the stage, exiting stage left here in Stockton as we continue the face-offs on our Before the Bell card. And we have a couple of local fighters, and that's Zachary Sam going up against Brandon Medina Guerrero on Saturday night. Sam, a 4-0 fighter. They're scheduled for 6 rounds at 126 pounds. Born and raised in Stockton, Sam's trying to win his first fight scheduled for 6 rounds. See the height? Pretty tall, pretty wiry. I mean, he's almost up there with Eddie Hearn. This is a 126-pounder. And then the fight that will kick off the night here at Adventist Health Arena will be a couple of other Stockton fighters. But we're going to be joined by the guy right now, by the guy who's going to be ending the night. It is Diego Pacheco, the 24-0, 24-year-old, exclusively from South Central LA. Now, you made your move back to Southern California. How are you feeling these days?
Feeling great, man. Like you said, back in LA, back home where it all started. I have all my family there, my parents, my siblings, all my loved ones. So, to be back in LA for my training and preparation, it was amazing. We had a great camp, and now we're back here in Stockton, ready to put on another great show and end the year off with a great win.
So you made a pretty big decision after your last fight to leave Jose Benavidez, to leave the training camps he was having, Seattle, Las Vegas, and come home to Southern California to train with someone new. Walk us through what that's been like over the last few months and what you hope that these changes bring out of you.
It was some big changes for me in my career. I was living in Seattle, doing my camps in Seattle, and, I felt like it was time for me to kind of branch out and make my own team. Everyone kind of saw me as Team Benavidez, so it was time for me to make Team Pacheco, and that's what I did. I'm in LA, Team Pacheco everywhere I go, and I feel great with the team I have and with the work we did, and I think you guys are going to see a great Diego Pacheco come Saturday night.
Now, through this transition in 2025, you are also going up against 2 fighters who are arguably your toughest 2 opponents. You go the distance with them in 12 rounds. And, I mean, Chris and I have been talking about it. You inexplicably get dropped in the rankings, but, between those 2 wins, going the distance there and then getting dropped, I mean, how would you characterize your 2025 right now?
Like you said, two great fighters. Steven Nelson was a great undefeated opponent. I feel like I did a great job against him. Great experience, learning experience for me. And then we went to fight on Trevor McCumbee, a guy who's a dangerous fighter as well. And I won every round on the scorecards and came out with the unanimous decision victory. And we were looking for big fights, the biggest fights possible after that. And Lele Sadjo name came up, and that's the fight my team, Eddie Hearn and Matt Truman, everyone wanted to go with. So that's the fight that's here now, and I feel great with the new team that I have, and I think this fight, it's only right to end it off with a great knockout.
You are, in my opinion, the most criminally underranked guy at 168 pounds. One of the most criminally underranked guys in all of boxing. You look at the guys that are ranked ahead of you in the sanctioning bodies, and some of it's ridiculous. It honestly is. And quite frankly, what the WBO did to you is one of the most inexplicable things I've seen in my time covering boxing, to drop a guy after he has the biggest win of his career. That being said, you've gone the distance in 3 of your last 4 fights. The last 2 have gone the distance. Some of that, as you set up on the podium, is because of opponents. But I've wondered, has there been any dip in the edge in Diego Pacheco? We saw a real edge in you when you were coming up the ranks, looking for those knockouts, getting guys like Gallegos out of there, getting guys like Jack Cullen out of there. Is that edge going to be with you on Saturday night?
Definitely, and that's something that, going back to my old team, that's what we've been working on. There's times where it's just easy for me to control with my jab and my God-gifted abilities to be able to move. For a guy who's 6'4", I feel like I have some of the best footwork in boxing. Even though
me being 6'4", you probably can't really notice it, you know, but, you know, I really don't get hit too much in my fights, and like you said, you know, having that killer instinct, I've always had it, you know, it's all about just, you know, styles make fights, you know, and if my opponent comes to make it a fight, then it's going to be a fight, and that's where I thrive, you know, and you know, growing up in Southern California, you know, that's what my style came from being in wars and sparring sessions from all over California, you know, sparring the best fighters. You know, when I was 15 years old, I was sparring Sudo Ramirez and all these great fighters. So I've learned a lot, and I feel like I have all the tools to come out with the victory.
And we keep talking about a world title, and I know that's at the top of your list to become a world champion. When I'm around Matchroom guys this week, the name I keep hearing is Jaime Munguia. Diego Pacheco, Jaime Munguia, first quarter of 2026. I can't think of a better Los Angeles fight for you than Jaime Munguia at one of the great venues in Southern California. I know you're thinking it too.
You got a sparkle in his eye, not just on his T-shirt.
Exactly, like that. Do you feel like to get that type of fight, and maybe you can get it regardless, but if you look outstanding in this fight, that is going to build tremendous momentum for that fight next year?
Definitely, you know, and I think the same thing, you know, me looking amazing is what's going to get me to these big fights, but, you know, it's crazy, man. I feel like when I don't perform my best is when guys start calling me out, and it's when guys want to get in there with me, you know, so, you know, I'm looking forward to put on a great performance Saturday. Of course, I'm locked in 100% on Saturday night. Kevin Lele Sadjo is a good opponent, great power, you know, great record. But you know, I feel like he's never been in there with someone like Diego Pacheco, and he's going to find out Saturday. And of course, you know, after this fight, I want a mega fight next year. And Jaime Munguia, I mean, I don't think it gets better than that for Los Angeles versus Tijuana. It'd be a great show for the fans in LA.
He's been leading the show for the last year and a half in any fights that he has been in, and that's not going to change this Saturday. Pacheco, Sadjo, the main event this Saturday here in Stockton, California. Diego, thanks so much. Great to see you. And we wish you good luck as we take a look at the full fight card, starting with Before the Bell and our prelims on Saturday, beginning at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific here on DAZN. Again, a lot of Northern California flair to start it off. Cesar Alvera and Victor Saravia, then followed by Zachary Sam, Stockton born and raised, going up against Brandon Medina Guerrero. And then the fight that we were talking about earlier, 2 fighters looking to get back in the win column. Shep Clark, Anthony Holloway, as Clark makes his return to the United States. The main event on Before the Bell, Arturo Cardenas and Cesar Vaca for the WBC Continental America's Super Bantamweight title. 2 training camp mates, now foes, this weekend. Moving on to the main card, which begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Sky Nicholson, Julian Luna going at it in a WBC interim title bout at 122 pounds. Ernesto Mercado back in action against Antonio Moran, and also a WBO eliminator in the co-feature. Joe Cordina against Stockton's son, Gabriel Flores Jr., all leading us into the main event. Diego Pacheco and Kevin Lele Sadjo here at Adventist Health Arena. A big one in the 168-pound division. Well, that is going to about wrap it up here for our press conference. You're going to join us tomorrow because I think we're going to have more fireworks with these final stare downs here in Stockton. Closing thoughts, Chris?
I'm just excited for all of it. I just got more excited for the co-main. I think Cordina against Flores is a true 50-50 fight with tremendous stakes, a potential world title opportunity in 2026 at 135 pounds. And Diego Pacheco, I just want to see this young guy shine. I think he is a star in the making in boxing. And if they can make a fight between Pacheco and Jaime Munguia next year, that just adds to it, gives it a little bit more juice, because I think that's a mega fight for Pacheco in 2026.
Well, first up, it is Kevin Sadjo. He has to get through Sadjo first. Those 2 fighters, a combined 50-0 with 41 knockouts. One fighter is going to taste his first pro defeat. That's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. Join us again tomorrow here in Stockton for our Matchroom Weigh-In Show. It'll be kicking off at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, as we hit the scales in anticipation of Saturday night. So for all our fighters, for the entire Matchroom staff, for Chris Mannix, I'm Justin Shackle. We'll talk to you tomorrow here from Stockton.
Coming alive! What a bomb! It is over!
And what a message to the super middleweight division.
What a knockout!
Right on the money.
What's a lead hand? Oh!
brilliant right hand. A real star. Timing them, waiting them out, landed nicely. Clinical finishing ability.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready. The fight starts now. Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. Press conference live on DAZN.
Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
To score a goal like that, you could see what it meant to me personally.
Just all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my!
Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fight, even before the bell rings.
I hope you guys enjoy this fight as much as I will.
That's a lot of fans out there.
Look at that! The drama keeps continuing, Shelly.
This is just brilliant.
This is boxing. This is life. It's not joking.
No politics, no fluff, just first glory and a little bit of history. Cheers to that.
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN.
Magnificent. That is tremendous.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going. Let's make history. Pure power. There's no way back from this.